PVC. This is Luke with Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Welcome back. Today it's a contest entry. Now, as quite a few of you know, I'm not a very big contest guy, but now and again there's a contest that comes up that is really interesting or really sparks my interest. And this is one of them. This was a channel that I was fortunate enough to subscribe to. Gentleman's name is Steve Carlson, and his contest is his 200 subs contest, and it is the Don't Worry Be Happy contest, I believe is what he's calling it. In a nutshell, he's asked to produce 5 records that make you happy, and why. And as a lot of you know, I did my top 100 and I based it on emotion and things of that nature. So when I saw this contest, it just struck a chord, and it was that something I thought, not only is it interesting and thought-provoking, but it hits a sweet spot with me regarding music, regarding records. So Steve, congratulations on the 200 subs first off. Fantastic contest idea, really intriguing and very thought-provoking. I collect records because music makes me happy, period. But the thought of what record makes me happy and why, great question. So I'm going to start. The first one I'm going to start with is a record that I can't imagine not bringing anyone joy or happiness, but certainly for me, the Beach Boys' Surfin' Safari. It brings me, I put it on to this day. Any Beach Boys album I put on of their early stuff makes me happy. Surfin' Safari more than most. And the reason it makes me happy is growing up on the East End of Long Island, I idolized the Beach Boys. I thought the Beach Boys were it. They were California cool, encapsulated. They were everything I wanted to be as an adolescent. You know, they were cool, they were surfers, they did music, they were musicians, I mean, everything. And they just had that absolute all-American thing going on, you know. So yeah, as a kid, it made me ecstatic listening to the Beach Boys music, imagining being out in the West Coast and being able to surf. Now, mind you, although I live on an island, I am and although I am a beach rat, I am a dreadful surfer. So that I was unable to accomplish in life. I accomplished falling quite well on my surfboard, but not surfing. So that's one. The second one that always brings a smile to my face, and something I absolutely enjoy, Rocky Horror. Now, the Rocky Horror Picture Show is a soundtrack of a movie, and for those of you who are a certain age, you know the movie, you know all about it. Tim over at DJ High Noon and I had a great little chat back and forth about the escapades of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But there's so many memories tied to, so many great fun memories tied to the Rocky Horror Picture Show that as a youth, you know, you go to the midnight shows and just all your friends, and it was just a blast, you know. It just, so I still put it on. I love Rocky. I think I now have 5 variations of the Rocky Horror Picture soundtrack. Maybe one day I'll do an unveiling of the new one I just bought. But in any case, Rocky Horror, the other one that always brings a smile to my face. It just fills me with happiness. Third, Sinatra's Strangers in the Night. This one on a bit more of a, you'll have to excuse the glare, a bit more of a personal level with regards to Sinatra. When it brings a smile and makes me happy because it reminds me of a relative who really he was a great man in my eyes, and as a young boy, in living in Queens and coming out to Long Island, my uncle was always the one who never treated me like, you know, the prepubescent adolescent kid that I was, but he always treated me with respect, and he was funny, and he was always, you know, basically he always treated me in my eyes as he treated the adults around him. Now granted that wasn't true, but I mean, he gave me enough importance and self-worth that it made me feel like he was treating me like the adults. And his favorite song that he played throughout my youth was Strangers in the Night. And you bet your ass that every time I hear that song I think of Pino, and it brings a smile to my face, and it's just that's one of my happy records. Fourth, Madness, ska. Just seriously, how can you, if you are a music lover, ska's gonna make you happy. It's just that type of song. It's that type of music, about everything about it. And One Step Beyond from Madness is just a great song. And again, I put it on and I smile because when I was an 18 and 19-year-old and 20-year-old, you know, a kid, it was great. You know, you go to the clubs and the ska was brand new and it was exciting and it was always cool, and it was very avant-garde at the time for us out here on the island. I mean, I'm sure it was old hat to those of you on the other side of the pond in England, but for a kid on Eastern Long Island, ska was like, wow, it was just really cool and really new and really fun. And so I put it on, and it still kind of it's still got such a distinct Caribbean reggae up-tempo style that you kind of dig it no matter what. And it kind of it always makes me smile anyway. So that was cool. And then finally, on what makes me happy, Boston's debut album. You know, in my top 100, this was the second, number 2 of my top 100 albums of all time from my personal collection. So it allowed me, this was one of those albums that transformed my musical acumen from pop to rock, and it brought my, I'm not going to say my musical IQ, but it made me stop, listen, think, and really absorb music in a way that I hadn't before. That was Boston. And, you know, I put on some music to start my day. Your question is, what makes you happy? So here is how I answer on Boston. Those words run through my mind on those mornings when I'm dragging, I am just dragging. And I got a busy day ahead of me, but it's 6 o'clock and I'm just like, and I just don't want to get, I just didn't want to get going. I put on some music to start my day. And on those days, and they're not very often, I have to say, even though I'm not a morning person, life isn't bad. But on those days when I'm dragging backside and just not in a great mood, and I just, Boston. Put on some coffee, I put on some Boston, and I listen to some music to start my day, and it makes me happy. So those are my 5, Steve. Hopefully you like them. If not, that's okay. Great contest. I liked that you shared your 5 and the stories behind it, especially the Commodores and the first slow dance with your wife. Very cool. And that's why I love participating in the vinyl community. It's stories like the ones you just told that make me feel like we're kindred spirits in a way, even though I don't know you and you don't know me. But that connection is always part and parcel of my enjoyment in the vinyl community. So, thank you again, Steve. Great contest. Hope you take the entry. For the rest, have a fantastic week, everybody. So hopefully I'll be doing a video with my most recent purchases in the next day or two. For the moment, have a great weekend, because it's Friday afternoon. It is 5:30 on a Friday afternoon. It's time to start getting dinner ready. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.